Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And we are here to talk Week 2, Monday Night Football for the Carolina Panthers. It's been a while since we've had one of these.
Yeah.
I actually don't. We should have looked up and seen when the last time we played a Monday Night Football game was. But I know we didn't play one last year. And Week 2 of the season, and we get one at home.
Yeah. And this is the only primetime game we have, right?
I think we have a Thursday night game later on in the season. But yeah, those are the only two. And you're not guaranteed Thursday night games anymore, so we're lucky that we've got two.
Yeah.
I guessed one when the schedule came out, so they overdid it for that. But no news today that we're going to talk about, but if you guys want to hear our thoughts about the injuries and the Tariq Cohen signing, check out the podcast we did yesterday.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. We talked about 23 minutes or so about that. So we'll kind of leave that there. And we're going to get right into the PFF grades for last week.
Yeah. After last week, I really don't want to harp on the negatives, so I am just gonna go ahead and jump straight into the positives. On offense, the top player was Chuba Hubbard with an 82.1. Really good running the ball. I think you and I both kind of saw that. For obvious reasons, he looked good with the ball.
I mean, the grade shows what the eye test showed. He looked great, and his pass blocking grade was 81.4, which is higher than any of the offensive linemen. So nice job by Chuba. And hey, we were both down on Chuba this preseason, and a few more performances like this, and I'll be on the Chuba bandwagon.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he played 28 snaps. It wasn't like he played 5.
Right. Yeah,
I always try to skip those guys.
He was out there for a good, 30% of the snaps or so. So nice job by Chuba.
Number 2, Hayden Hurst, 70.8. I'm sure you're excited to see a tight end that's up there that's not Ian Thomas for randomly.
Yeah. Hayden Hurst, unfortunately, didn't get a ton of catches, but he was out there. And again, they don't have a pass block grade for him at all.
He had 0 pass blocking, so every time he was out there during a pass play, he ran a route.
Okay. Well, I think Ian Thomas, he's not on this top 5 list, but I think he had a pretty good pass blocking grade too. So, at least he's doing something. But yeah, glad that Hayden Hurst is up there on the top 5 of the PFF grades. Another good guy up there, Bradley Bozeman, 68.6, led all the offensive linemen on PFF grades. So not bad, but he's got a couple right behind him.
Yeah, Icky came in at number 4 with a 67.9. He had a really good pass blocking grade of 79. He did give up 1 hurry or 1 sack and 1 penalty, but overall, I felt like the offensive line did a pretty solid job last week until towards the end where everyone knew we were just passing.
Yeah, and then Moton rounds out the top 5 with a 66.2. So 3 of our offensive linemen in the top 5. Never going to complain about that. I wish the grades were a little higher overall for the whole team, but those were the guys that looked the best. And unfortunately, we're losing Brady Christensen as we talked about yesterday, but hoping that whoever fills in for him is able to keep up the good work.
Yeah, I did hear, I know this is kind of off topic, but it is for the game. Zavala is going to be staying at right guard. They said that they like the way he's looked and they don't want to move him around. So I'm a little surprised.
That weird. It's only one game.
It's been 3 weeks. Yeah, it's not like he's been.
And I know he's been in a preseason as well, but I don't know that I buy that explanation. And that, to me, means that when Corbett comes back, he's probably going to be playing right guard, which is not what he played left guard, which is not what he played for us last year. I think he has played left guard in the past. One season, I think I saw, but it was 2019, which is 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
And Savala literally played next to
Yeah.
Icky at NC State, which I'm surprised they don't want them closer together anyways, because they probably have a shorthand linemen speak to each other, if that makes any sense. Like,
They've got some
hey,
experience with each other, yeah.
they know their strengths and weaknesses and can work as a team.
Yeah.
And then you got Bradley Bozeman right next to him. I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I'm not James
I'm surprised
Campen,
as well.
so.
Yeah. I'd love to know more about the thought process behind that, because I don't buy we don't want to mess up the chemistry or whatever. I don't buy it.
Nah, I don't
It
either.
doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but unless Corbett just wants to play left guard for some reason.
Yeah, or maybe it's the fact that maybe they feel Cade Mays is more left guard, because Corbett's not
Depending
playing
on
this
who
week.
plays. Yeah, no, Corbett's not playing this week. I don't know who Cade Mays is either. We'll see who that ends up being. I think PFF has Jensen as the
Nash
starter
Jensen.
there, so we'll see. But on defense, and some more decent grades here. Troy Hill actually led the team in PFF grades on defense with a 76.4, which is nice. 75.6 coverage grade, which was really nice to see, even higher than J.C. Horn's. Only 15 snaps for him, but when he was out there, he was productive.
Yeah, and he's going to see a lot more now that J.C. Horn's not playing. So
Right. Hopefully he sees more.
yeah,
I'd prefer to see him out there than C.J. Henderson, who
Me
is not
too,
on
me
this
too.
top 5 list, by the way.
shocking.
Yeah. Xavier Woods next at 69.5. And then we've got a couple of defensive linemen.
Yeah, Derek Brown 68.4 with a pass rush of 81 for an interior lineman. That is astounding. He had 23 pass rushes and he had an 81.
And we talked about him in the preseason as a guy that is probably not going to get a ton of sacks. He keeps pass rushing like that. He's going to get some sacks. Like, he's going to end up with a handful, if not more, sacks this year.
And coming straight up the middle to pressure a quarterback throws out all rhythm, because they're so used to quarterback or the rush coming from the outside. There's nowhere to step up. You have to start evading at that point.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the outside, next on
Brian
this list is Brian Burns, who had a 91.1 pass rush grade.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's in the elite category.
He did struggle on the run defense, but we all know that's not his strong suit.
That's typical for him, unfortunately.
But, I mean, 91. I mean,
you
I
pay
have
him
a
to rush the
prediction for
quarterback.
him later on. So
Yeah. You pay him to rush the quarterback.
yeah.
And then rounding out the top 5, J.C. Horn, 67.9. J.C. is great when he's available. He's a fantastic corner. So
When
hopefully we get him back.
available.
Yeah. Hopefully we get him back this season and he can stay healthy. So
Yep. All right. Now, let's go ahead and, before we jump into the game itself with the injuries, please subscribe on YouTube, like us on Twitter, follow us or star us on whatever podcast you're listening to. We greatly appreciate it.
star us.
I mean, I don't know what else that is called. Like, subscribe. I don't know.
We did get an email from Elizabeth,
one
one of our favorite emailers. She very nicely told us that she hadn't quite watched our video yet.
Yeah,
when she sent it, which is fine. But she says, while it sucks to lose, the fact that we were -3 in turnovers going into the fourth in a tie game is not bad. Like, that's kind of if you're looking at it that way, kind of optimistic that we were in that game playing as poorly as we played, honestly.
Yeah, and let's be real. I mean, we were in that game. Those turnovers, I think, cost us the game. Just 17 points from it.
Oh, no doubt. I don't think that's a question.
And then you have 17 points off that. Then you have Bryce having to throw the ball late. That's going to be dangerous, just because they're going to pin their ear back and rush the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Frank Reich also talked about how at least one of those interceptions was, he said it was his fault, just based the play call and the position of the field, just not giving Bryce the best opportunity to make a good play. So, nice of the coach. For once, we've got a coach that doesn't throw the player under the bus, right?
That's
And takes
exactly what I was
responsibility.
thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, look,
Yeah.
a coach taking responsibility?
Yeah. Elizabeth also just mentions that she's still very confident in Bryce Young. He's going to learn. He's a rookie. It's his first game. Anybody that's out on Bryce Young after his first game, just go kick rocks. Like, find another team. We don't.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Come on,
guys.
give me a break. The Sanders fumble, she was more disappointed in, but again, we talked about this. Given the benefit of the doubt, is his first game, so his first action. Really, the entire season. So he didn't play any of the preseason, but. Yeah, I mean, week 1 is weird. She mentions a couple of the strange losses this week, in week 1, and how some teams look better than we thought they would look. Some teams looked a lot worse. So, the long season left, and we'll see what happens. But thank you, Elizabeth, for the email, and anybody else who wants to email us, MeowMix at Mailbag at MeowMixPodcast.com, and we will read it on the show. Yep. If it's nice, if it's positive,
if it's positive, no cuss words,
We've been very lucky. You guys are a great community. We hardly ever get any, assholes. So we do very much appreciate it.
And that right there unmonetized our YouTube.
What, I said bassholes.
All kidding aside, we'll be right back with the game preview. And we are back. Now, going into week 2, unfortunately, the Panthers have already been struck with the injury bug. Brady Christensen out on IR, probably out for the season. J.C. Horn, hamstring injury, most likely out for multiple games. DJ Shark, with his hamstring, limited practice today, which is very good.
Yeah, and he said he feels like he's going to play.
Good.
But then he also said it's still up in the air. So so he giveth, then he taketh away.
Yeah. Taylor Moton, bicep, limited practice.
God, what is up with the biceps?
I don't know.
I don't like these biceps injuries for our offensive linemen. Hopefully he's going to be fine.
Yeah. Now, moving to New Orleans Saints, J.T. Gray, cornerback, shoulder. Kendra Miller, running back, hamstring, limited practice. Ryan Ramczyk, tackle, rest, and then limited practice. Jimmy Graham, tight end, rest, limited practice. Juwan Johnson, calf, limited practice. And Pete Turner is on IR with a leg injury. So,
yeah, they seem to be coming in fairly healthy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Most of those guys probably play. I mean, unfortunate that that we're going to face them full strength while we're not, but hey, that is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. They don't have Kamara. Yeah. I mean,
they don't have a Kamara. Yeah.
I mean, you could always say it like that too. I mean,
and we'll talk about their run game here in a minute, but betting odds, surprisingly, the Saints are only a 3-point favorite. I thought they would be more like a 4 or 5 point favorite, but I guess it's a home game, so they're giving us a little bit of leeway there. But 3-point favorite for New Orleans. Over under again set at 39.5. So another, Vegas at least thinks it's going to be another low scoring game. I don't know, Jerry. What do you feel about that? I mean, would you take the points, or I mean, take your Panthers fandom out of it?
I would say 2 good defense going against 2 new offensive quarterbacks in new schemes and everything. I would take the under if I was blindly looking at this game.
I think I would too. I mean, the Panthers haven't shown the ability to score points so far, and the defense has been good. So, yeah, and New Orleans' defense was very good last week. So, I think this could easily be a low-scoring game again. So we'll see. But what do the Panthers need to do to win this game is what we're going to talk about next. And I'll start it off here, Jerry. I think the first thing we need to do, something we did last week very well, is run the ball. Keep the defense of the Saints honest. keep our defense off the field, long runs or long drives, get into the end zone, hopefully. But, I mean, keeping the ball possession, and that's what kept us in the game last week,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is just the fact that Atlanta didn't have the ball a lot. Unfortunately, when they did get the ball, it was with pretty good field position most of the time. So run the ball, run the ball, run the ball.
I 100%. Yeah, that's my number one takeaway too is run the ball. You know, I don't want to say keep it out of Bryce's hands because that's not what I'm trying to do. I want to make sure we don't put Bryce Young in a bad situation. I don't think the wide receivers are the best, so therefore if you catch them off guard with running the ball, they're going to start cheating up. And then if DJ Shark's healthy, he could maybe beat him over top, you know.
Yeah.
And
38 passes is a lot for a rookie quarterback. Like, let's maybe keep that down, like under 30 would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the wide receivers, you need to get open. I mean, I saw a chart worth separation, and the Panthers had only like a yard or two separation, which isn't good. Which just purely is not.
It's not good at all.
Besides Laviska Shenault, who had 5 yards, and I think that was because his catches were basically screens.
Yeah, he didn't have. He wasn't running routes really. All the other receivers were below league average in separation. Hopefully, if DJ Shark does play, that will improve because he's got the most speed of the wide receivers. I don't know if Tariq Cohen is going to play in this game, but he's another guy that is quick enough to get separation. So I would like to see. They're going to have to scheme it. They're just going to have to scheme these guys open.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're just not quick enough.
I don't know if Tariq Cohen's going to be able to play.
Probably not this game, but
I mean, this is his first football activities that he's had in 2-3 years.
He joined the team halfway through the week, and he's doesn't know the playbook. Like I know that's probably asking a lot, but it would not shock me if he's on the roster and is out there for a handful of plays or returning punts or something. Like that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Next up here, third downs. It was important last week. The Panthers did a very good job, actually, offensive and defensive. Yeah, would have liked to see a little better offensive, but certainly was better than was last year.
Previous couple years.
Right. Get our third downs and stop them on third down. And again, the Panthers did a pretty good job of that. I think Atlanta's like 2 for 10 or something on third downs. It was something like that. They were pretty poor on third down last week. So hopefully the Panthers can continue that because third downs, as we have seen over the past few years, if you can't convert them and you can't stop them, you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. You're just going to lose. So that's extremely important.
Yeah. Another big indication of wins and losses is protecting the ball.
Yeah.
The Panthers turned it over 3 times last week, and Tannehill threw 3 interceptions to New Orleans. So Bryce Young has got to be smart with the ball. I know you're young. I know you're a rookie. This is a quality defense you're going against. One of the better ones in the league. Marshawn Lattimore is a great corner.
Yeah.
I mean, don't press it. Throw it to the ground. Throw it to a cheerleader. It's time. Use those legs with what you can.
Yeah, and we don't really have this on our list, but I think New Orleans had 3 or 4 sacks last week against Tannehill, and they hit him 10 times. So that's they're just gonna have to keep Bryce safe and give him the time to throw. The more time he has, the less. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm showing 3 sacks, but I don't see hits on my list here.
Yeah, 10 hits. 10 hits. I did see that earlier. And Tannehill was terrible. He was absolutely awful. I saw Hopkins was targeted 13 times, only had like 65 yards. So, yeah, and we don't have anybody on this team as good as DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver. So, again, we're just going to have to be better from a coaching scheming standpoint than they are.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. I have. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So on ESPN, it only shows 3 sacks, but on PFF, it shows 5 sacks and 5 hits and 13 hurries. I'm looking
Okay.
at New
Well,
Orleans. So
that's a big discrepancy.
that's a
I
huge
don't know
discrepancy.
about that. I don't know about that, but everything I saw, I watched a video earlier from NFL.com, and they said 10 hits. So I'm gonna go with them and ESPN, I think. But yeah, what's our next key here, Jerry?
Sorry, I was looking at something else. Cornerbacks. Last week, you faced Desmond Ritter.
Yeah.
Nice little warm-up game. Now you're going to face Derek Carr, who threw 33 times and looked good doing it. So,
Yeah,
well,
he had a touchdown, also had an interception.
I was going to say good, but
better than Ritter.
Yeah. Completed almost 70% of his passes, 300 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it last week. Like, Ritter's stats looked better than he looked. He did not look good.
No.
Ritter is not going to win games for Atlanta this year. They're going to win by running the ball. New Orleans is going to win by throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Especially until Kamara comes back, because our last key here is just the Panthers have to be better against the run. They were bad against the run last week. The stats again weren't terrible, but if you watch the game, it felt like if Atlanta really wanted to, they could have run that ball all day long against the Panthers. New Orleans had only 2.6 yards per carry last week on 27 carries against the Titans. So this is an opportunity for the Panthers. Again, we mentioned Kamara's out, so they're without their best running back weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers are going to have to take advantage. They got to make this team one-dimensional, and the corners, like we mentioned, are going to have to step up.
Yeah. I mean, their running back's Jamal Williams, who's a solid backup, solid piece, but I don't think he can carry the load. So
Right.
I agree. You got to protect. You got to stop the pass. Chris Olave, Shaheed had a good game, and then you have Michael Thomas, who's, I mean, they're
actually healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, like it is what
It's
it is,
gonna be
guys.
tough.
Like, yeah, they have a good they have a good receiving core.
Yeah. I mean, Olave is very good. Michael Thomas, as we've seen in the past, can be a game breaker. I don't know if he still has that in him, but he's certainly a high quality wide receiver still. And Jamal Williams, Jamal Williams has had games, right?
Yeah.
But he's getting up there in age, and he's just not a guy that I think is going to have 30 carries anymore. But that's kind of their best guy right now. So I think the Panthers are getting lucky facing this running back tandem, that New Orleans has right now. And they're going to have to take advantage of it. So,
yeah.
All right.
There is another part that I didn't put down here, but somewhere I think the Panthers can succeed, especially helping our cornerbacks against their wide receiver. The pass rush can get to Derek Carr. They gave up 4 sacks last week, 8 hurries, and 3 more hits on the quarterbacks. They have a rookie, Trevor Penning, starting at tackle. I would assume that you put Brian Burns on him and you let him feast.
I hope so.
And then you have Justin Houston going against Ramczyk, which, I mean,
Could maybe a little banged up Ramczyk.
a little bit banged up Ramczyk. I mean, there's possibility. And then look at their guards. Their starting guard, James Hurst and Cesar Ruiz, their pass blocking was 42 and 35.
Yeah.
Derek Brown can disrupt up the middle against those guys.
Yeah. Rush Luvu in there. I mean, some corner rushes. Like, this could be fun. It could be a really good defensive game for the Panthers.
I think defensively, you try to make Derek Carr get happy feet and throw the ball quickly, because you don't want to give Chris Olave and the other receivers more time against C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson, and Troy Hill.
Jerry, how many sacks would you say the Panthers will get in this game? If you had to make some sort of bet.
Well, why do we even pretend we don't discuss this beforehand? Because we don't.
If you had to make some kind of, I don't know, some sort of beverage bet,
Beer bet of the week. The beer bet is 3.5 sacks over under without Brian Burns added, because we both think Brian Burns is going to get about 2 himself. I just think you're going to pit him. That's what you do.
So I'm gonna give you a little better odds because you said 3.5, but we first agreed to 2.5 non-Brian Burns sacks.
Oh,
right. So I'm gonna go under. I still think they get 4. I think they get 4 exactly. I think Burns gets 2. So I'm going under, and you're going over.
Yep.
All right. So 2.5 non-Brian Burns sacks. That is the beer bet of the week. And now we go to predictions.
Bold predictions. Originally, I was going to do mine on Brian Burns.
Go ahead. You can still
getting 3 sacks, 4 sacks, but I don't want to do that now. So I'm going to go Derek Brown. Derek Brown has a 5 combined, either sack or tackle or losses combined.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's bold. That's where I'm going with.
Yeah. Yeah. I am going to say that Bryce Young throws for 300 yards and no interceptions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Especially against that defense, I would be very excited.
Yeah. I think they figured something out over the course of this week, and DJ Chark is going to help. So I think he plays. All right. Well, let's talk about some game predictions here. Since you went first on the bold, I'll go first on the game. I think this is going to be a close game, closer than many people probably think it is, other than Vegas. They think it's going to be a close one too. So I do think, I'm gonna kind of be a Debbie Downer here. I think the Panthers are going to lose. I think it's going to be a fun, close game. 24-21 New Orleans.
I'm sitting here shocked because I had 24-21 hometown Carolina Panthers gonna steal it.
All right, good. That's one thing we do not talk about before the podcast.
No.
Is our predictions, and we are always very close. It seems like. I hate going against the Panthers, but I want to get on the board on these predictions, and I feel like we're just still a couple of weeks away from really finding out who we are. So.
Now I could see that, but I don't want to pick against the Panthers this early because
I know.
my blue tinted glasses are still on high. So
yeah, hey,
go.
Nobody will be happier than me if we win. So, all right, well, let's quickly talk about the other NFC South games here. We've got the Green Bay Packers visiting the Atlanta Falcons. That could be a fun game. The Packers looked good, and Jordan Love might actually be a good quarterback.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah, I think they're going to be without their number 1 receiver again this week, but it didn't seem to hurt them last week. So, Packers over Falcons?
Let's hope.
Yeah. And then we've got the Bears visiting the Bucks. Again, the Bucks surprisingly looked competent. Baker Mayfield apparently figured out the defensive signals from the Vikings at halftime, told the team, and they were able to do some stuff in the second half. So,
good for him.
This is a game that I want both teams to lose. I'm rooting hard against the Bears this year because of mainly how their fans have treated our fans. And then the Bucks, obviously, I can't stand. So
yeah.
Hopefully this ends in a 0-0 tie. And just is the worst football game ever played. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. The only thing is I like DJ Moore, even though he is a Bears.
I know he had 2 catches last week on 2 targets. They only targeted him 2 times. You trade you trade the number 1 pick overall. You get DJ Moore and you don't use him. I don't get it. I don't get it.
He gets open, guys. He gets open.
We did talk in the off season, you and I, in a chat that we have with some friends. And I predicted that DJ Moore would have less than 800 yards receiving this year. And I stand by that.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're not using him to his full potential.
Yeah. I just don't think Justin Fields is good. I think he's a really good runner. I don't think he's a good quarterback. So, we'll see.
I didn't look at Justin Fields' stats, honestly, after that game because, well, it is what it... I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
216. I don't think the Packers have that great of a defense.
It was a lot of garbage time stuff. A lot of garbage time stuff for Fields. So, and that's kind of where he's made his yardage in the past. I don't know. He's just not good when the defense is trying. But anyway, this isn't a Chicago Bears podcast. Any other thoughts before we sign off here, Jerry?
I really would love the Panthers to get into the win column, especially on Monday night. I would love for our guys to show up, look fantastic on Monday night, and kind of let the national media know that they're not this pushover team.
Yeah.
That everybody seems to think they are. I don't think they will be this year, but
yeah, I'm again, not super optimistic that they win this game, but I have high hopes. I can't wait to watch it. It's a 7:15 start or 7:30, whatever, 7 something. So it's kind of an early Monday night game, which I'm happy about because I hate staying up super late on a work night. But yeah, I'm getting old. I do hope that the field looks terrible because turf sucks and turf is really shiny at night. So I just want David Tepper to be embarrassed by his decisions. That's all.
okay.
Yeah.
We got less than a minute left here. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. You'll leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
We'll be back. Probably, I don't know. Monday night, I guess we'll have to record Monday night. To recap the game, and until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.